Let's try this again. I set up something to go live just for people who are watching this on replay. I set up a live and then I entered it and it was giving me an echo. I don't know if I did something wrong or what, but there were a bunch of people already in there. So hopefully they find me. We got one person back in here. Sorry, I had to reset, start over again. Thanks, Lone. I'm gonna give people a minute to come on back in. I don't know. So I had never, just for people coming in, I have never set up a live on YouTube where it was going to, you know, where I advertised it and set a timer. And then I got in here and then I started hearing, I could hear myself echoing. So I had to just get out of there and start over. So yeah, Edward Norton for sure is one of them. Definitely. And guys, for what I wanted to start off with today is when I just wanted to express gratitude and appreciation for so many people having such open minds. I cannot tell you how much that just warms my heart because I don't experience that a lot in my personal life, but there are so many of us out there that can see things and have, looked past the indoctrination and the brainwashing that we all were under. And it's a literal spell we're all put under, and it's really hard to break for some people. And some people, I think, unconsciously reject it because of how much inner turmoil it can cause when you first wake up. So I just wanted to first start off by just expressing my gratitude and appreciation for all you beautiful, open-minded people out there. It's every time I go live, it is like literally heartwarming to see how many people there are. And sometimes I make a post and I'm like, man, this like, because like I always say this, but with no arrogance, I spend all day, every day doing this. So I feel like my knowledge of a lot of this stuff is like on another level. And I fast and pray a lot. I'm in the middle of a fast right now. And so, like, I don't have arrogance with that, but it just makes natural sense that it's my job now. So sometimes I will put stuff out there and I'm like, this is going to be too much for the general public, might even be too much for like subscribers. And every time there's just people that get it. And it's awesome. It just means people are truly starting to see with our real eyes and what reality is. So it's really cool. And what I always go back to is, yeah, there's a lot of terrible things happening in the world. There's a lot of deception. There's a lot of, bad people and lies and deceiving and bad things happening to kids and stuff like that. But like beneath it all, like I think what I'm doing with proving that these fallen angels are here, it's an awesome thing because it proves that heaven is real and that there's a heavenly father and we're all just spiritual beings. So yeah, well, it can suck because we're in these bodies now and bad things happen. Well, it's just a temporary thing, my friends. It's a temporary thing, and just got to try to focus on love and the positive and not focus on the negative, even though it's important to see so you can see through it. So, anyway, thank you. I wonder if hopefully not a lot of people, probably a lot of people are going to that other link, which isn't going to work. So, that's not cool. How do you make it through every day? I've just always, one, I think I have a superpower to go down the rabbit hole and come out and just do that, and I'm good. But two, just what I was saying, it's like, man, if fallen angels are real, which they most certainly are, then God is real. Our Heavenly Father is real, and that's an awesome thing. And it causes me to have no fear. I don't fear anything anymore, ever, never. I don't fear dying. I used to fear dying. I used to have a terrible phobia of flying in airplanes because I just couldn't get like crashing out of my mind. But I don't like to fly still, but I'm not afraid of it. But I don't like to get in a little sardine box and be trapped in there. John Wayne, I think there's a good chance John Wayne became Hugh Hefner. I haven't like fully done the work and research on that, but I think there's a good chance. Yeah, Eminem is Trump. We found the dots in my Facebook subscriber area, and that's why. So once I figured out this musician stuff, where Lucifer literally plays all these musicians, and they all have the dots. what I'm realizing is that's why you will see a lot of these people look different, because Lucifer was playing Eminem for a long time, but now they had to get someone else in there because otherwise they're just gonna be like killing people off left and right, fake death, fake death, fake death, which they still do, but it would be amped up even more. So I think, part of me thinks that they find someone, Lucifer finds someone to look like. So when he's done playing that part, then, it's like Mystique in X-Men. She can look like people. And when he's done playing that part of Eminem, then like the person that he was made to look like steps in. Same thing with like Mick Jagger. I know Mick Jagger is not the same Mick Jagger. So yeah, I definitely agree. I think Ozzy Osbourne has the same two dots. He looks way different from young Ozzy to old Ozzy. Well, yeah, exactly. Toby Mac and Eminem, but that's what I mean is like, it was probably Lucifer playing that part, and then someone else is in there, and maybe that someone else is the person that plays Toby Mac. I think I did some videos on Ryan Garcia. I think Ryan Garcia literally played that Mangini guy that supposedly killed that CEO. Mangini, I think that's his name. I'm almost sure that's Ryan Garcia playing that role, that fake homicide role, for sure. And yeah, I think there is probably a new Alex Jones too. Either that or he just finally stopped, maybe decided to actually get in shape. Yeah, Fartree, the president list is mind blowing. Guys, and I'm not going to say I, because yes, I have found a lot of them, but we, as in my Facebook subscriber group, have probably found, I don't know, 38 of the 47 presidents. I just haven't posted on a lot of them because some of them aren't like, I don't want to post. I don't want to spend my time posting something and it to just be a dud and like fail. And, like, because yes, I want people to see the truth. Yes, I don't care about views and clicks and money, but I do care about views on, if I put time and effort in, I want to reach as many people to wake them up as possible. So there's a lot of presidents we have found that I have not posted on yet. Thanks, guys. For those of you, I see a few of you joined my membership. I love that. There's so much extra content in there, longer, more detailed versions. Because I tend to, especially now, because Instagram is doing this thing where if your video is over 3 minutes on Instagram, they don't push it out to new people. And that's like, I'm trying to reach as many people and wake as many people as possible. So if my video on Instagram isn't going to be seen by new people, well, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to wake up and help people see and find their fearlessness that, we're in a spiritual realm under a firmament and God is real. So I've been doing like my 3 minute videos, and I'm only saying three because Instagram, that's their thing. Like anything over 3 minutes, they don't push it out. If it's 2 minutes and 59 seconds, they push it out. So if I've been doing longer content, I've been putting that in my subscriber or membership area. What did I say about Toby Mac? I did a video on Toby Mac and Eminem, like that being a role Eminem plays, but literally maybe that is Lucifer. Maybe Lucifer is playing Toby Mac too. I don't know. Trump is a busy, busy bee. Reinhard Weber, thank you, my friend. I appreciate the kind words. Can you find Eddie Van Halen? Already did, my friend. I haven't done a video on it, but look up the musician Adam Baum. That's him. Maybe I'll do a video at some point, but thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it so much. It's funny, I feel like I have less people in here than I usually do, and I advertise this one. Maybe it's because I left the original post. Shoot. Oh well. J. Edgar Hoover. Who is Hoover? Do we find Hoover? Hoover. I can't think offhand, Fartree. I'll look when I'm done, and I'll email you, my friend. If I will email you if we have him. I'm pretty sure we do. It's not clicking who he is for some reason. And Kaysen, now that I know your name, Kaysen. Let's see. Kyle, thank you so much. I appreciate it, my friend. Calvin Coolidge. Guys, I'm telling you, so one of my subscribers put a picture of all the presidents, and he literally went through and, instead of like Lincoln, he crossed off and put Clint Eastwood. And I really think we have like 40 out of the 47, maybe 38. I just don't remember. I don't remember all of them because if I haven't personally found them or done the work, it doesn't stick to the old noggin. But there's a lot. And like I said, or like I always say, if you guys want to be part of that, go to the Facebook membership and subscription, because that's where it's really happening right now. Like the community there is amazing. People are always finding these fallen angels, and some people, like, there are people finding, other than just me, finding who they are, who they were, who they were, who they were. It's wild. I just haven't done a lot of those posts yet because I think those start to get hard to believe for people. But, like I did one with Bryan Cranston, who used to be Phil Hartman, who used to be Ulysses S. Grant. Andrew Johnson used to be, or Andrew Johnson probably was someone in between, but he was Stevie Ray Vaughan, and then now he's Tommy Lee Jones. So, but there are a lot of people being tracked. Taylor Swift, Zena LaVey. Yeah, I've done some videos on that for sure. Tiana Taylor is Dionne Warwick. I don't know either of those people, my friend. I apologize, but I will. And that's the thing, guys. Like, so many people tell me there are so many other people, but a lot of times if it doesn't resonate with me, like if I don't know them, I'm not prompted. I don't feel motivated to do a video on them. There are so many people out there that I could be doing, but I don't, because it's just not people I'm overly familiar with. Cheshire, thank you. I appreciate it. What about Brian T? Worked with him on Deadland. Brian T. Who's Brian T? Sky, I don't know who Brian T is. I apologize. Part of the problem, guys, is I don't really watch a lot of TV or shows. So, like, most of mine, facial recognition, all that stuff is like 80s, 90s, early 2000s. I don't know a ton of new people at all. Let's see. Yeah, Jamie Foxx definitely was Ray Charles. Yeah. And so, not every time, but so many of the times they reprise their old roles. Someone in my Facebook subscriber group just found Mr. T, and it's the guy, what's his name? Which is crazy because I've met Mr. T. He lived in my town for 10 years. He lived in Lake Forest, Illinois, where I grew up, and he chopped down all his trees in his yard. It was like this big deal because the city didn't want him to, and he said, screw it, and did it anyway. And I was literally like 10 when this happened, like probably playing, I don't know if it's t-ball or baseball, but my coaches used to say, swing your bat like Mr. T chopping down the tree. But Mr. T, one of my Facebook subscribers, just found him. He's actually a guy that like pushes Flat Earth, which is now I know is like a total psyop. It's the guy that played Mr. or B.A. Baracus in A-Team. Rampage Jackson is who Mr. T is now. Mr. T Ball. Yeah, Sky, I don't know them. Sorry. I apologize. What if they aren't Nephilim but reptilians? What do you think? Well, they aren't Nephilim. The Nephilim are the giants. The giants. They were the children of the fallen angels and the human women. And I think they're still having kids. I just think that their kids are becoming, they're not giants anymore. Clearly, there's no giants roaming the earth, at least not, around here, maybe in Antarctica or something. But I think they're still having children, but I think they figured out some way to not be giants, but they're passing on their shape shifting abilities. So yeah, they're reptilian in a way because they're seraphim angels. They're the fiery ones. They are serpent. Like they don't look like us. They can just make themselves look like us, in my opinion. Like that's I can't prove that, but I know they're shapeshifters. I've proven that over and over again. I don't remember who Henry Ford is. I don't remember if we found him or not. Did someone maybe think he was Steve Martin? I think maybe someone thought he was Steve Martin, but I don't know. I didn't prove that one, I don't think. Erica Kirk, you know, I haven't done a video on it, but there is a very clear Erica Kirk that was like in the 50s, married to a political guy from Florida, and like it's her. Like if you go on TikTok or even YouTube, maybe like people have done videos on it. I've done after September, I did probably 15 Charlie Kirk Erica videos, and I did another one recently about JD Vance, who's Josh Duggar from 19 Children, and Erica Kirk. But I'm just kind of sick of that narrative. I'm sick of trying to tell people that Candace Owens is just a big fat liar who's not even who she says she is. She's been Oprah, she's been Halle Berry, she's been Lisa Left Eye Lopez. Just characters they play. I don't know who Andrew Bustamante is, my friend. I'm sorry, Lisa. Like I said, guys, usually if I'm not overly familiar with them or it's not someone I'm connected to because I'm watching them, I've watched them or I've seen them in shows, or it's hard for me to want to have the motivation to do those people. And I rarely take requests, you know, because I like to go just by feel and intuition and prayer and fasting. So it's rare that I will take requests. Let's see. What else, guys? What do we want to talk about? I don't know Andrew Womack. I don't know who he is. Um, Down to there, I see that. For the movie Battle After Battle starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Tatiana Taylor is Dionne Warwick. Okay. I'll note that. I'll screenshot that, but I don't know. I know Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't know the other people. Rockefeller and Ellen DeGeneres. I just did. Well, so that's the thing. You know, like Ellen was definitely Henry David Thoreau, 1,000%. I found the exact birthmarks. Their faces match up. I just did a video 2 days ago on it, but could be a Rockefeller. She could be a Rockefeller in between for sure. That's the thing, guys, is like people are always like, why do they fake their deaths? Well, they do because if they didn't fake their deaths and we just saw Henry David Thoreau still walking around, if we saw Teddy Roosevelt just walking around still 200 years later, we'd be like, well, what's up with Teddy? How come he can live longer than the rest of us? So they have to fake their deaths and shapeshift slightly sometimes. Like, I mean, Teddy Roosevelt looks just like Robin Williams. So sometimes they hardly shapeshift. I think sometimes they do it more drastically. I think they all have a natural look, and the further away you are from that, probably the more you need to focus. It's like it's an innate ability, but I think they need to focus because I've seen times when, you know, like when Elvis kisses this little girl, he loses his shape. Like his eyes start to bulge and things start to happen. So I think if they're distracted or not able to focus, they start to show their true colors. Yeah, Chuck Berry and Snoop Dogg, I think I've seen some people talk about that. Yeah, the world is definitely not a globe. If you're still stuck on a globe, I feel sorry for you because there's a lot of wool still over your eyes if you still think you live on a globe. Because if you still think you live on a globe, you don't know how big the lie goes in the world. And it's just until you figure that out, there is so much deception that you are believing still. And I was too. I was guilty of that as well. Like I thought I woke up until I figured out there was a firmament and Earth wasn't moving and it's flat. And that took the first, not even the first, like the fifth layer of the onion off. And then once I really started to see how many Masonic truthers there were, that like peeled the rest off. You know, like once I saw these people, like I always rag on him, but he deserves it. Like David ice and all these fake flat earthers, doing all the hand symbolism and all that. That took the rest of it off for me. Then I'm like, I see right through all you liars now. Oh, that's a good question, Lisa. Lisa asked, "What? I'm curious. What's the worst water you've tested with the electrolyzer?" Unfortunately, my tap water over here in Florida, so bad. Like, and I wasn't drinking it ever, but I had before I tested the water. I bought this. It's called the Epic water filter, and it was supposedly like take out fluoride and everything. And I was like, I drank it for a year, was giving it to my dogs, and then I tested the Florida water, and it was so bad. And then I tested the water out of the Epic water filter, and it still was so bad. And I was so mad at that company. Like, someone needs to sue that company because they're bogus as can be. Other than that, um, a lot of the spring water is really bad, guys. Like, if you need to do bottled water, do distilled or do purified, because a lot of the spring water is totally bogus. Evian is bogus. It literally says naive backwards. What else? Smart water is not so bad as far as like bottled water goes. If you need to get plastic water bottles on the go, but you can almost always in a gas station if you're on the move get purified or distilled. Go with those for sure. Yeah, I need to get an RO hooked up. Frank Lucas and Denzel. His wife is Eva Mendes. Eva Mendes. Eva Mendes. Isn't Eva Mendes married to Ryan Gosling? Or is that a different Eva? Thank you, Munoz. I appreciate it. Frank Lucas and Denzel, his wife is. I'm pretty sure Eva Mendes is um, Franklin Roosevelt. Franklin Roosevelt's wife, aka Ryan Gosling, and Eva is Eleanor Roosevelt. But maybe it's Eva. Eva something else. It's not Longoria. Yeah, I think it's Eva Mendes. What's my opinion on the new identification cards being required and the future of money? Um, I don't stress about it too much. Like, if I'm gonna have to do something like that, as long as I don't have to put a chip in my hand or get something in my head, like I'm like we already are all subject to all their money and all their nonsense and all their banking and all that. It's like if they just change it a little, I'm not overly worried about it, but I'm just a guy that tries not to fear that type of stuff until they're literally trying to forcefully inject me with stuff. I'm going to do what I like. I use their evil technology every day to bring, it's their fallen angel AI. AI is angelic intelligence. I use their stuff all day, every day to, if you can use the enemy's weapon against them, then so be it. And if I can use their technology and their money system to help bring them down, I'm all right with it. Just being honest. Austin. Hey, Austin, my friend. Good to see you on here. Um, I have not looked into the Amish and their faith and how it ties into the Satan's little season. That's super interesting. I'll check that out for sure. I've never heard anything about that. I'm on it, Austin. Thank you. Let's see. What else, guys? I'm trying to just do questions, but I wouldn't mind getting into some longer discussion here. All right, let's see. Erica Kirk and Tammy Faye Baker. Uh, thanks, Doc Ride. Again, guys, I can look into that, but I can't even think who Tammy Faye Baker is offhand to know anything. I think Erica Kirk is Erica Kirk. Like, there's literally an Erica Kirk that was a politician's wife. I mentioned this earlier that looks just like her. I think of Florida politician or businessman. I just saw a video. Someone just sent me a video on it. Yeah, I'm kind of over the Erica Kirk stuff. I'm like, I don't know how people just don't see through that. It's so just bogus. It's so bogus. Honestly, I am thankful for it because it really, really opened my eyes to a lot of the deception going on with Christianity and Jesus and that type of stuff. And you know, I truly think, and I've done posts on it and I've talked about it in here, but and I even saw someone just mention it above, but I truly think I'm a big believer in the Bible and the firmament and the Heavenly Father and the Messiah, but I just think they changed the names on us. And that is something that is more recent for me, but I really think they do. And I think that's why all these Satanists, all these fallen angels push Jesus, because it's Hail Zeus. I really think it is. And I had a hard time. I denied that for a year. And I just truly think it's what's going on. Yeah, Jimmy agrees with me. A lot of people in here agree with me, and I see Yahweh and stuff, but I think Yahuwah and Yahusha seem to be more in line with my thoughts. If I'm, being honest. Yeah, I've done some videos, Jeff, on the orphan trains, kind of tying that into the short season and things. It's been a while since I've done that, but I did a long video on the Cabbage Patch Babies. They're for sure real. But, and what I want to clarify with that is people are always like, I'm sure a lot of people on here will say, yeah, Jelly Roll, he's a Satanist. Probably is a fallen angel. A lot of people think he was a pastor. What's his name? I can't think. Anyway, what was I saying there? Lost it. Lost what I was saying. Oh, the clones thing. I'm sure a lot of you heard me say one of my biggest pet peeves is that clones are not real, and it's like out of control how many people believe in clones. And people will reference Cabbage Patch Babies or the Cabbage Babies, and it's like, well, incubator babies they can do. You can put, you can have sperm and egg, and they do that. They have test tube babies, but they're not clones. They're just growing in an artificial womb, but it's not a clone. A clone is an exact replica. The only clones that exist are twins. So I do think they maybe repopulated the world with Cabbage Patch Babies, but they're not clones. They push clones. So when you see Robin Williams looking like Teddy Roosevelt, you say that's a clone instead of it being a fallen angel. So when I say vampire, I was saying that on a level, like I've always thought they were fallen angels, but I was calling them vampires because I think there's blood involved. And I was thinking maybe there was, a Brina Brome drinking more than there actually is. I think that still goes on, but I think they just have the ability to stay youthful and shapeshift like innately. I think they're stuck here in the flesh. I think they're upset that they are because they always reference their wings and their heavenly bodies in heaven. And, they're pissed that they're banished to earth. And, like one of the greatest things Lucifer figured out to do is to convince the church to preach that, like nothing's supernatural. All the supernatural stuff they like don't teach in other than the resurrection, but they take all the supernatural stuff like out of the Bible, not even out of the Bible, but out of sermons. They don't preach that in church other than if angels are all just spiritual. You can't see them. It's like brilliant because they took the supernatural out, except for the one thing that they made supernatural is the angels who are actually here in the flesh, the fallen angels, that is. Pissed and acting like brats instead of behaving to get out. 1,000%, Sky. 1,000%. And sometimes, like I go back and forth. Sometimes I'm like, man, are they maybe doing what they need to do to get out? Are they providing a service to our Father to test us? Like, are they creating this evil in the world and deceiving us to see if we can find our Father through the evil? If we can choose our Heavenly Father over the flesh and the temptations of the flesh? Are they trying to create duality to make test us? I don't, or are they just jealous little babies and they're mad at us because we're down here for a little while and then we go back up and they're mad at God? I tend to lean towards their jealous little babies, but there is, if we are in the short season, they are given this period to deceive. And why would that be in the Bible? And why would that be part of scripture if it wasn't being allowed by God? So it's like, if God's allowing it, what's the purpose of it? And I think if we are in the short season and God's allowing it, maybe it is to test us. Maybe God's trying to build an army up there of, warriors he can trust and those that choose him over these fallen angels. I don't know. I'm speculating. We're not in the short season. Well, that's your opinion. My opinion is that we are, and that's why they call it the dark ages. The dark ages just happen to be around 1,000 years. Oh, and no advancements, nothing happened, everyone was sick, nothing was advancing. Or that's when the Messiah was reigning during the millennial reign, and that's when Satan, aka Donald Trump, aka Lucifer, was in the bottomless pit with the rest of his fallen angels, and they call it the dark ages because he was in the pit. That's my take, among of dozens of other reasons why I believe we're in the short season. Usually, the only reason people think we're not in the short season is they haven't looked into it enough, or they still hold on to their indoctrinated church beliefs. Just again, my opinion. Which ones are vampires and which ones are fallen? How do we tell the difference? Um, I don't know if there is a difference. I'm not saying, I think if there are class of vampires, I think maybe they're the Nephilim now. Like I don't think the fallen angels, the watchers, I don't think they need to rely on blood. I think they're here. Now, if you're half angel and half human, like the Nephilim were, and now the Nephilim just aren't giants, maybe the Nephilim are the vampires. But the blue bloods, the angels themselves, I think they're the fallen angels, and maybe their offspring are what would be vampires. Hey Dustin, glad you caught me. The little season made sense to me at first, but the mud flood shows the results of a flood, not a fire. Well, yeah, but there could be both. The mud flood I personally think the mud flood might be the angels coming out of the abyss, the watchers coming out of the abyss. I've speculated that maybe it's when they came down, but if you look at those geysers, those 200 craters, they look like something that came out of the earth, not that came down. So I think maybe the 200 are when the watchers came out for the short season and caused a giant worldwide flood. If you look where they are, they're all over the world, the giant craters, and they're all very centrally located to Babylon, aka the United States, where there was tons of mud flood evidence. Hey Mel, checking out your super chat now. Thank you so much for the kind contribution. I heard there were 53 miles of underground storage under the Vatican, most likely where ancient Bibles, manuscripts, scrolls. Yeah, so I've never heard that there were 53 miles. I know there's tons of stuff hidden there. Yeah, they probably have all sorts of giant bones and dragons and manuscripts and Bibles. Absolutely, 1,000%, I think. What else, guys? Any idea who Arnold? No, I do want to find Arnold. That's a great. I'm gonna put it up here, and I'm gonna find Arnold because I was a big Arnold guy back in the day, and I would love to find him. He's definitely 1000% played many roles before him, and I just haven't spent time looking, but now I'm going to. I want to find him in Stallone because I was big, like I was an 80s, 90s child. I love those guys and their movies. Um, obviously Stone, I think, is like, was it Pope Gregory? I haven't done a video, but there's a picture that goes around where Stallone looks just like one of the old popes. Um, but I need to find their more recent roles. I'll find them. I will. If I ever put my mind to it, I find them because it's just like I fast, I pray, I ask, and I just start using. You can use AI to help find people. 3 blood moons on Jewish holidays this year. Interesting. Yeah, guys, that's part of the reason I'm. That's. I think there's a. I think it's a blood moon eclipse tomorrow. If not, it's in March. But yeah, there's an eclipse coming tomorrow. It's new moon that I'm all fasted up. I might do a longer fast than I've ever done. I'm feeling good. I'm not too far into it. I'm only like, I don't know, 30 hours into it, 25 hours into it. Um, I haven't looked. I don't remember what time I last ate yesterday. But yeah, I encourage guys with this eclipse coming tomorrow, do a fast. Start right now. Go till at least till tomorrow at this time or later in the day tomorrow. Do a couple days if you can. You will absorb a lot more positive energy if you're fasted and your body is prepped to absorb it because there is some really good energy that comes off of that. So in the April 8th eclipse back in 2024, I fasted for 3 or 4 days leading up to it. And I just stared at it for like an hour. And I felt like I was on a 10-day high for the next 10 days. Like, not on drugs, but like just like the most positive, just outflowing of energy and spirituality I've ever experienced. So stare at those eclipses, fast during them. It's good stuff, guys. I promise you. Awesome, Sky. Yeah, Sky's joining me in a 3-day eclipse. Or 3-day fast. That's great. I have seen the Vibes of the Cosmos page. Not, I've seen the moon map and that stuff, but excuse me, I haven't spent a ton of time on there, but I've seen it. I'm familiar with it. Let's see what else. Yeah, I don't think the fallen angels created us. People say that because of the Anunnaki and stuff like that. I don't think so. Not out of the realm of possibilities. Um, Paul Walker is Tim Ballard now, the Sound of Freedom um, POS who pretends to save kids. He's probably doing other things with kids, but yeah, don't buy that guy's act for a second. Let's see. I grew up with Joe Burrow. Has he always been a fallen angel? Yeah, I think so. That's the thing, guys. So um, Joe Burrow was Houdini for sure. But they're not, people sometimes confuse this. And this is I can't prove this without a shadow of a doubt, but I think I'm a pretty good authority on the topic. I don't think like I said earlier, they're not spirits jumping. They have spirits. They have spirits. Like we have a soul and a spirit. But my soul isn't jumping from my body to someone else's body, just like theirs isn't. They're stuck in their flesh. They just have the ability to shapeshift and age reduce and get older and appear different. It's like they're like shapeshifting octopus. And I've done of it. You guys got to look up my shapeshifting video that I did maybe a month ago. But shapeshifting octopus can look like a snake, exactly like a snake. It can look like a rock, exactly like a rock. It can get bigger, it can get smaller, it can change colors, it can literally go on a red rock and it's a white octopus and it turns completely red. However, if that octopus got in a fight or got stabbed and has scars, scars, it can't shape shift those away, right? You can't just like make a scar disappear, just like they can't shape shift their moles and their scars away. They're permanent. Um, and like, holy cow, did I just like luck into that because I'm trying to think two and a half. I think the first person I ever was looking for facial markings on, first one ever, I think was Kyle Rittenhouse and Noah Ponsner, the one of the kids that supposedly from the one of the school, and I wanted to prove that Kyle Rittenhouse was Noah. And so I like, I spent 20 years breaking down film and looking for one thing to move a little differently with someone's foot striking the discus ring a little different or their arm pulling a little differently on a snatch or a clean and jerk. So I, like I just was good at breaking down film and pictures and found things that made perfect sense that matched with those two kids. And I lost my TikTok account immediately when I posted that. So I'm like, all right, not touching that one again. But that was the first one I ever did. And then, I think the next one I did after that was maybe I had heard people post on Jim Morrison being Rush Limbaugh, but I wanted to prove it to myself. I'm like, oh, I'll just do what I did with them. And I just never knew it would turn into proving fallen angels are here. It's wild to look back 2 years ago and just like it was my natural. No one told me to do it. It just was like came intuitively for me to look for that stuff. It's kind of wild. It's like a whole new way to explore truth. Who do I think Alex Jones is? Well, he was Bill Hicks. That I'm sure of. And if you don't, Bill Hicks was a comedian in the 80s, I think 70s, 80s. I've done a video. I did a subscriber video, even a members video. So there's a longer one, but he was definitely Bill Hicks. And I don't know about prior to that. I don't know about if he shifted out of that role and someone else, but that's all I know about Alex Jones, other than he's a gatekeeping liar. I can tell you that much too. Him and Aleister Crowley, aka Joe Rogan. I did say that Kyle Rittenhouse was Noah. And guys, what I'm realizing is I lived in a hotbed for fallen angels, like crazy amount of actions there. Because so I grew up in a wealthy suburb of Chicago. My family wasn't wealthy. All my friends were, but my family wasn't because I came from a single family or a single parent home, and but like Michael Jordan lived probably 5 miles away from me. Vince Vaughn went to my high school. Robin Williams went to my middle school, obviously much younger than me. Kyle Rittenhouse, that whole Kyle Rittenhouse thing in Antioch, Illinois. My school played Antioch in football, so like Antioch was close. I played Antioch in football every year in high school. So there was just whatever reason that area, maybe because it's like a sports hub. Like all the Chicago teams have, like a lot of their players live in that area. Mr. T, I already mentioned him during this live. Mr. T lived in my town. So, looking back, it's insane to think how close in proximity I was to all those fallen angels. Chicago area code 606. Yeah. 312 as well, because 312 is one of their breweries, their beer. There's a lot of area codes in Chicago. Ooh, Donald. Is Don Fry? I don't know Don Fry, but I know Rick Rude, so I'm going to look that up. Someone just showed me that Owen Hart is like some new big guy in the UFC, and I couldn't unsee it. I think for sure, but I just screenshotted that, Donald, so I'll check that out for sure. I've been looking. I found Andre the Giant. I did a video on Andre the Giant. Actually, one of my Facebook subscribers. Who was that? I can't remember. Someone just like showed me there's this giant Russian boxer. I'm like, that's Andre the Giant for sure, and it's so unmistakable. Talk about Nephilim, Who is Owen Hart? Owen Hart is a big time new UFC guy, and I can't think of his name, but just look up like new young blonde UFC fighters. Um, Patagonia, can I get help with Facebook subscription? Meta won't accept my payment. I don't have any ability to help you. So many people have told me that there's problems trying to subscribe to me on Facebook. And I always say, guys, if you're going to subscribe, do it there because there's a community there. And as much as you might subscribe to see my extra content, the community is 1,000 times better than my extra content. They're awesome. And what Facebook always tells me is it's not on my end. It's something like your app is out of date, your payment's out of date. Your sometimes Facebook isn't my subscription's not available in all areas for some reason. So Patagonia, I don't have an ability to help you there, and I apologize. But second best choice would be if you can subscribe on Instagram because there's a group chat there, but there's not a posting area. Facebook has a group chat. They have a separate posting area and all the extra content. So I'm always telling people Facebook, Facebook, Facebook if you're going to be a member or subscriber. Please consider Sunyal. Sunyal says, please consider not ending with my wink. You know what? I know I hate that rubs some people the wrong way, but I'll tell you the story about it because there's a story about it. So when I first started posting on TikTok, I was getting censored like crazy. And my buddy was friends with someone who was a TikTok moderator. And she's like, hey, I can hook you up. You guys can talk and maybe she can give you advice. So I talked to this girl for 2 hours and she gave me all these good tips. And one of the tips was say entertainment, hashtag entertainment, and then also put it in the write up. So I do this, and I'm like, it's the very first post I'm doing after I had talked to this former TikTok moderator, and I spit out all this truth, like all this flat Earth truth. And at the end, I'm like, oh, I forgot to say entertainment purposes. So I go and I like had literally just poured my heart of truth out. And at the end, I'm like, I say entertainment purposes, and my body, I swear to you, just naturally winked because it was like, I can't lie. I have the hardest time lying. So there was like my body's response to saying entertainment because it's not entertainment. Get it? Like, not entertainment. So I know people hate it because like I'm not doing one eye symbolism. I'm not covering my eye. I'm not holding it shut. I'm just winking. It's not, I promise, I swear on my dog's lives, it's no symbolism. It's just I'm winking so people know it's not entertainment. And I think part of that has allowed me to grow. Like because I talked to everyone's always like he's controlled opposition. He's got 1 million followers. And no, I just figured out the algorithm. I figured out how to like play to the sarcasm and not, like people who come on here and just spit facts and say, this is how it is. Well, they're the ones that are getting shut down and removed. I'm like, it's why I developed sarcasm. I'm not that sarcastic of a person. It's why I say entertainment. It's to keep my accounts alive. So I understand where you're coming from, my friend. I just don't think I'll probably ever lose it because it's working for me. Let's see, someone. Oh, Patagonia, thank you, my friend. Where are you, Patagonia? Where are you? What is this? 50,000. It's not $50,000. That's for sure. What type of money is that? What country are you in? And thank you. I appreciate it. Whether it's 2 cents or $2 or whatever it is, anything I always appreciate, guys. It's not. I don't come on here for the money, but it's much appreciated, especially if you want your question seen. That it's really the only way you're guaranteed I'll see your question. Colombian pesos. That makes sense. Notice they told us Elvis never wrote music because he can't create. Have you ever heard a song for the first time and it was like remembering? Yeah, that's funny. I mean, I thought it was wild that Trump was Elvis, and now I know Trump is Elvis and Mick Jagger and Angus Young and Eminem and Youngblood, and not Trump, but Lucifer. He was built with timbrels and pipes in him because he was a musical angel in heaven. And Trump, if you guys haven't seen my video where Trump's literally talking about being a musical genius, and people really like my music that I play. I mean, he's told us so many times. Yeah, Kevin Gates claiming to be an angel, angel of fear. Yeah, I'm an angel of fear. However, he says that. Yeah, he's telling us. He's telling us for sure. Santos Bonacci knows a lot. Yeah, I don't trust Santos though. Not at all, because he's buddies with those guys that are all Masons. He's buddies with Sean Hibbler and Flat Earth Millionaire and David Weiss, that whole crew. They're no bueno and give a lot of truth, but they're not good in my opinion. So I think a lot of the music we hear is AI from decades ago. AI has been around as long as all of us have been alive, and they've been using it on us as long as all of us have been alive. It's just now being given to us. Instead of them using it, we get to use it. And I think part of that is to muddy the waters. So we're not going to know what's real and what's fake when, the fake Messiah comes or fake aliens come or whatnot. I think angels can, what's that word? Oh, locate. I've thought about that. I've thought about that, but I don't know if I agree with that because I think they have ways to travel that we can't even comprehend. I think they have patents that are angel technology, like UFOs that we actually see is just the angels flying around up there. But I think they're confined to one body. I just think they can shapeshift, and I don't think they sleep. I think that's part of it is they don't sleep, so they can get places fast, and they can, Trump can go to an AC/DC concert and be Angus Young. They have a stand in for Trump if there's anything. That's why sometimes Trump looks different, and people are like, oh, there's 5 different Trumps. Yeah, because the real Trump, Lucifer, is out doing an AC/DC concert, getting all his devil worship people like loving on him. Then he goes to, become young blood. Someone sent me a video of Youngblood literally yelling at a group of like 12 kids to like teach them how to yell "Hail Satan." It's wild. And then Youngblood dresses like the devil. I think Youngblood is like his favorite new character because he can just be himself. He can be his evil, deceiving, like rambunctious, restless self. I've done a video on Benjamin Buttons. That guys, the Benjamin Buttons and the fact that Mork and Mindy that has Robin Williams in it, Mork and Mindy, Mork ages backwards in the show. Like they're telling us in those shows. So I'm not crazy saying they can age reduce. They're telling us. They always tell us. Yeah, the Elvis song "Devil in Disguise" is pretty interesting too, don't you think, my friend? He literally has a song called "Devil in Disguise." I mean, could they be any more obvious? Is Baron Trump King David? I don't know. I actually, I think there's a better chance he's probably Alexander the Great because even the marks on the statue line up. Someone asked me, oh, I think Kaysen. I think my buddy, yeah, it was Kaysen. He asked me to look up Dave Matthews, and guys, Dave Matthews, the musician, has a whole lot of king symbolism. He's a king in one of his covers. King David was known to be a very musical king, did poetry all the time. I'm not saying, I just think there's a chance that King David is Dave Matthews. I don't feel great about Eric Dubay. I really don't. But I want to And I appreciate the contribution, my friend. But there's not a lot of people in the content world I do feel great about, if I'm just being honest. Not a lot at all. Not a, and then like I know it's so hypocritical because I'm sitting here with like, I'm not huge on YouTube, but I've got like 1.5 million followers on Facebook, and I'm growing pretty good on Instagram. But so for me to say this sounds hypocritical, but I don't trust a lot of people with big followings. And sure, there are a handful out there that are just good, kind, caring people. But most of the people I trust are people that a lot of people don't know. Um, and there's a handful. There's a few. I've got my friend Jennifer who is biblical. I think her thing on Facebook is biblical cosmology. She's called on Instagram. There's a few younger guys that are doing great work. I think one's named, I couldn't even tell you their names because I don't follow a lot of people, guys. Because I want my own mind. I want to pray and fast and research and do my own discovery. I don't want other people's opinions to sway my thoughts and opinions. Who is Liam McAdoo, who was on Alex Jones as a reporter? Pedro, I don't know, my friend. I'm not familiar with that guy. I don't know who that is. I'm sorry to be able to not be able to tell you more. I appreciate the kindness, but I don't know. I can't help you on that one, unfortunately. Truly the seraphim, you're on it. Yeah, like, guys, I mean, I think I'm maybe the first person in the world, like all humility, no arrogance, but to be proving that fallen angels are here. I think I am. I've seen a lot of content over the past couple of years. Even though I say I don't want to watch it, I don't see any. I see people talking about fallen angels. I've been talking about fallen angels for 2 years, but I haven't until probably the past 5 months been proving that they're here, proving that people have been, like we've all, if you're awake at all, everyone has seen probably the pictures of like, oh, who is one? Matthew McConaughey looks like this dude from the 1800s. But I think I'm proving that they're not clones, they're not replicas, they're not lookalikes, they're not doppelgangers. They're the same fallen angel entity. And somehow I lucked into finding the marks 2 years ago to prove this. Eric, I did like maybe 2 weeks ago. I did a video on the Bora Bora dragon. I actually saw it on a travel video. Like it was just a travel vacation like Instagram ad or something. I was like, that's a dragon head, like clear as day. And I did a really one of my favorite videos on that because I've done videos on how all volcanoes are dragon remains. It's the insides of dragons. Like if a cow dies or a whale and its insides are rotting, well, that stuff, becomes pretty toxic and it blows up. And that's what volcanoes are. It's the insides of dragons, but dragons could breathe fire. They had very acidic insides. So anyway, Bora Bora, there was a very big active volcano there because, yeah, there's a there's a dragon on Bora Bora. That's for darn sure. This is a great question. Noodle Kolik, I think I got that name right. Noodle says, how to fully engage with the solar eclipse tomorrow. Well, honestly, it's a very individual question because someone like me who sun gazes probably a half hour a day in total, I'm gonna just stare right at it the whole time, and I'm just gonna stare. Although it might just be a lunar eclipse tomorrow. I think it's a lunar eclipse tomorrow. I totally forgot. I think it's lunar. Anyway, it's not even visible. I think it's only visible in like Antarctica, but that doesn't mean that the energy from it isn't there. So I don't know if there's going to be anything to actually even look at. Like, I don't think, the sun's not going to be blocked out like April 8th. Now in August, is it August? August 12th? Whatever date they say we're going to lose gravity, I think it's August 12th. That's going to be a full eclipse. And just to talk about that, for me, I will stare right at it like I did April 8th in 2024. Just stared right at it. Now, if you're not someone that's been sun gazing, I would just, it's like, if it hurts, don't look at it. If it's burning your eyes, look away. You're not going to go blind. If you stare at it and it's hurting, you could damage your eyes. But, most people will say you can sun gaze like at the beginning or like at dawn and dusk and, or early morning and dawn. And I keep messing that up. Early morning or as the sun's setting. We'll go that route. But I like if it's noon in Florida where the sun's pretty hot, like I can stare right at it endlessly and I'm fine. It's like a muscle. You just got to build your strength and your tolerance. Be smart about it. You can definitely hurt your eyes if you're not, if someone who's never sun gazed before stares at the sun like I do at noon, you're going to hurt your eyes. So just be smart. Pretend it's like, first time working out. You don't want to do a marathon on your first workout or you're going to be pretty wrecked the next day. Or your first time drinking alcohol. If you have 5 beers the first time you ever drink alcohol, you're probably going to be a mess. But if you're a pro drinker, 5 beers aren't going to do much to you. Wendy, we would be honored if you could be available to keynote and participate in an audience question and answer forum, even at a small event venue. I would love to attend, as I am sure many would. You know what? I don't. So there's like different truther conventions and stuff out there, but they're just all. I shouldn't say all, but the majority of those people there are not ones you want to be trusting. Like the people that organize those make sure that people like me don't attend them. So I would never be invited to speak at one of those. Now I have considered with members and Facebook subscribers like putting out something like trying to do something social and like, hey, I'm going to be here at this time at this date and give some advanced warning if you can come and we can just hang out and talk and ask questions. Great. I've considered that. But I also just, like, I'm just cautious these days. Once I was befriended by a bunch of Masonic lying truthers, and I didn't realize that at first. I thought they just wanted to be my friend because they were interested in what I had to say and thought I was a good dude. And I didn't realize they were trying to be like handlers of me or get close to me to maybe keep me under wraps. I don't know. It makes me, I'm not fearful of anything, but I'm just more cautious. Well, Tracy, happy much early birthday, April 8th. I'll remember April 8th, 2024 my whole life because not only did I stare at that and have the best next 10 days of just like riding high, but I could see the sun through the firmament, the real sun, or maybe a layer of it. But, and I've done videos on it, guys, because the sun we see is just a projection from, so like, let's say this is the real sun, my little light back here. There's layers of the firmament, and then we see its projection. So we're just seeing like a light in the, like I explain it like this a lot. If I shine my iPhone light in a glass paperweight, you're going to see a little ball of light in the glass paperweight. That's not the real light source. The real light source is coming in the firmament. And what it actually is, I don't know. But what we see isn't the actual sun. And I could see through the layers of the firmament and see either, the reflection in the firmament or the actual source on that April 8th day. I've done a handful of videos of it. My favorite one, if you guys write this down and check it out later or just remember it, one of my favorite videos I've ever done is I started with, I proved heaven is real. And I think if you just type heaven is real in YouTube or Facebook, it'll pop up. It's a short 2-minute one, but I just show how heaven's talked about to have layers. And I had like 15 people send me their videos of seeing the sun in the layers of the firmament that day. And that getting back to it, that's why they tell us to put the glasses on. That's why they tell you to not look at the eclipse, because you will see anomalies that do not line up with living in the heliocentric model. Can I look into Wes Bentley from Ghost Rider? I think you will be surprised. I will. Did I lose you for a second? I will screenshot that and look into that, because I Wes Bentley from Ghost Rider. I'll check it out, because I'm not familiar with. I mean, I know what Ghost Rider is, but I don't know. I can't think of who Wes Bentley is. If there's only 200 fallen angels, how can all celebrities, musicians, and athletes be fallen angels? One, they're not. I think the 200 are like all the big boy names, the like mega stars. You know, your Tom Brady's, your Tom Cruise's, your Robin Williams. And I think, but those are, I think, the 200, the Watchers. But there's a lot more fallen angels here, because there's two different incursions. There's the Watchers, the 200 in the Book of Enoch, and then there's also the third that came down with Lucifer when they were banished down. They lost the war in heaven. They were literally thrown down to earth, Lucifer and the his angels. And that talks about a third. It also talks about there being myriads and myriads. So I believe a myriad is 1,000. And if you have 1,000 times 1,000, that's, 100 million. So a third might be 33 million. And maybe there are 33 million fallen angels down here. I'm looking for LeBron. I'm looking so hard for LeBron. I found LeBron, or that's looking for LeBron is how I found out that Kobe was Wilt, because I thought there was a chance that LeBron was Wilt Chamberlain. But then when I'm just looking at Wilt, I'm like, that's Kobe Bryant. I see his face clear as day, because I just have that facial recognition. I'm a super, there's actually a name for what I am. I'm a super recognizer. So I've taken a test on it too. And like I have photographic memory, but especially for faces. So I just like if someone has a specific set of lips, I can recognize those lips on, like, if they're the same, I'm like, that's Joe's lips. Hey, Michael, thank you. I appreciate the kind contribution. And guys, if I forget to thank you, I am so humbled and appreciate the super chat so much. Sometimes I'm just like going from comment to comment. I have looked into the Sabbath. I do think it's Saturday. My buddy John Truth, who is Yahuwah Nation, just showed me something really cool a week ago. How, like, in all the different language, the Sabbath, is that's like the only one of the only words that is like consistently sounds and looks the same through like all the languages. Like God scattered the people and he changed the languages, but the Sabbath remained in all the languages. And I do think it is Saturday. I do. Yes. And I do think, yeah, and I think that's part of the reason they mess with our calendar is it probably throws off the Sabbath. It throws off women's cycles, because women's cycles should be on the lunar calendar, like perfectly like clockwork almost, if you're functioning well. There should be 13 months. A turtle's back, if you guys don't know this, a turtle's back is a perfect 13-month calendar from days, month, and weeks. It's really cool. Check that out if you haven't. I've done a video on it, but it's cool stuff. I think Kim Clement. I think there's a good chance. I don't know who he is now, but I think there's a good chance that he was Michael Landon. I don't remember if I found Smoking Guns or not, but the symmetry was perfect. And to go from Michael Landon on Little House of the Prairie to a preacher, I think. I'm not sure on that one. Don't quite quote me. I see someone saying David Weiss in here. Yeah, David Weiss, he's no good. He's so all the big names in flat Earth, minus myself because I don't associate with any of those guys. But David Weiss, um, Sean Hibbler, who does all the Level with Me movies, the whatever. Um, Mark Sargent, yes, Rob Skiba, who is still alive, by the way. Who else is there? There's a handful. Oh, Austin Whitsitt. Austin Whitsitt, I know who he used to be. He was an actor, but they're all plants. They all wanted to get ahead of the flat Earth movement so they could control it and put it in the direction they wanted. So they could give you a lot of truth about it. Probably wake a lot of people up and cause divisiveness. I know it caused divisiveness with me and my family and my friends. But yeah, so if you go back to early January of last year, I did like 5 videos outing these guys, and it was all the nonsense with the 24-hour sun in Antarctica and all the fakery and all the liars. Guys, there are so many Masonic shills in the truther world, especially the flat Earth truther world, and um, it sucks, because like a lot of times you don't know who to trust. You got to that's why I don't trust anyone anymore. Like, I shouldn't say anyone. There's a handful of people that create content that I trust. But yeah, David Weiss is no good. David Weiss and I texted every day for probably a year and a half. Like, he invited me on his boat when I moved from Illinois. I went to New Hampshire for a week and then came down to Florida, and I was going to pass right through Connecticut where David lives. He invited me on his boat. I was almost going to go on his boat, and I'm like, like, I know what he is now. He's no good. He does all the hand symbols. He used to be on a podcast with a Rothschild. Those guys are no good. And if you don't trust me on the Rob Skiba thing because he was pushing Christianity and whatnot, all you got to do is go to the search engine Yandex and type in Rob Skiba Freemason, and like it'll pop up, and you'll watch a video and you'll say, "Holy cow, Rob Skiba was a Freemason." I'm done comparing my face to anybody. Anyone that ever says I'm anyone else, all you got to do is go look me up. I am not shy about who I was or what I mean, no Freemason, no fallen angel is going to go teach high school PE for 20 years in Grays Lake, Illinois. I taught at Grays Lake North High School for 20 years. Before that, I went to Valparaiso University. Before that, I went to Lake Forest High School. Before that, I went to Deer Path Middle School. Before that, I went to Deer Path Elementary. Before that, I went to Everett. So trust me, I'm just me. I'm just a dude who woke up and cares and wants to help. And for some reason, my teaching really helps me figure out how to present logically so people like what I do. And I try to add some sarcasm and humor. Yeah, the Jim Henson one. Jim Henson one cracked me up until she started really pushing that and saying my wife and I were trans. That one was that Shirley, my former subscriber Shirley, who decided to all of a sudden turn against me, who I considered a friend, is really upset me with that. Yeah, there's guys, I am the most sincere human you'll ever meet. Go watch my Facebook live from yesterday. I literally was like crying because of how much I care about doing this stuff. It was, I don't think I've ever been so vulnerable in my life, crying in front of 1,000 people on a live. Have I seen any Bride Ministries testimonies? Ingrid, thank you. I appreciate it. I think so. I think I have. Yeah, I think so. And I don't remember my thoughts, but I've seen a few of or one of those maybe. I wish I could give you better commentary on it, but I don't have a ton. I love to look at one of these people who have gone back. Oh, in the eyes. I've looked at so people that I think are fallen angels that I've met or at least been very close proximity to and looked like right in the eyes. Vince Vaughn, Bill Murray, Michael Jordan, Mr. T, George Clooney. George Clooney filmed Ocean's 12 was filmed in my town, and my wife has always loved George Clooney, so we went and watched some of it uh, be filmed, and then it was George Clooney, aka Cary Grant, and like 20 teeny boppers like mobbing him trying to get an autograph, and it was me and my wife. She was we were probably 25 at the time, but so funny to look back on now and know I was in the presence of an angel, even if it was a fallen angel. Although, I will say this. I think as far as these fallen angels go, George Clooney, Cary Grant seems to be one of the less evil ones. I don't see him doing a lot of symbolism. He just seems to have a kind-hearted presence. So there's a few of them out there. Who else? Brad Pitt seems that same way. And I'm saying that just based on the research I've done. Who knows what goes on behind closed doors? But Brad Pitt, George Clooney, these guys, they're not out there doing devil horns and 666 symbolism and some of the other things that I see all of them doing. So, yeah, Freemasonry, the Tyler is the appointed officer responsible for guarding the door. I know. What's funny is I think, I think our father has had a lot of predictive programming with me. My name. I don't tell people this because I don't want people to get the wrong idea, but my email for the first 20 years of having an email had a 33 in it because I tried to do an email involving my name. And this is when I was in college, like in 2000. I've had that email since 2002. When I was in college, it was when email first came out, and I tried to create an email with my name, and it didn't take. Someone already had it. And then I tried to create an email. I'm the oldest of three brothers. I have two younger brothers. So three has been my favorite number my entire life, which is kind of humorous as well. But then I tried my name and three at the end of it. It was taken. And then I did my name and 33 and it was available. So I had an email with 33 in it for 20 years. And yes, my name is Tyler. My mother named me Tyler. My dad, thank goodness, because my dad wanted to name me Spike and my mom wanted to name me Tyler. Although Spike Hansen would be kind of cool. But yeah, I have, there's been a lot of predictive programming in my life, I think, showing me of what was to come for me, exposing all these fallen angels and these masons. So it's, I'm no, I'm every bit of who I say. I'm just a retired PE teacher with nothing to hide. I am an open book, and I can't even tell white lies. That is like one of my greatest strengths and weaknesses is that I can't lie, because if I do, it just tears me up inside. Chamberlain, Michael Jordan. What do you mean there, Chamberlain, Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan. I've done a video on Michael being Jackie Robinson. That was one of the ones that I didn't figure out that bummed me out a lot. Having been a huge Bulls fan in the 90s, growing up literally 5 minutes from Jordan. And a subscriber sent to me, hey, Tyler, check out Jackie Robinson and Michael Jordan. And he had already done some work. And I was like, yeah, this is undeniable. What was my number back when I played football? It wasn't 33. It was 78. 78 in high school, in the 54 in college. Anthony Edwards looks like Jim Brown. Anthony Edwards, isn't that Anthony Edwards? Is that the basketball player, Anthony Edwards? Everyone says he looks like Jordan. He looks just like Jordan to me. I've seen that one. I actually think there's a chance Jim Brown was Bo Jackson. I think there's a good chance Jim Brown became Bo Jackson. If you look at Jim Brown young and Bo Jackson, like when he was on the Raiders, I think there's a great chance. Now I'm creeped out because your storage unit is 33. Sorry, I'm just gonna remove someone because I'm sick of them saying rude things. Okay, they're gone. Let's see. What else, guys? Yeah, I do think Trump is the last president, and I think it lines up so perfectly with one, the Ingersoll Lockwood books called The Last President. Two, we're in the 250th year of Lucifer's release, his independence. That's, that's even more. It lines up. There's a statue of Liberty or of Lucifer, a 300-foot statue of Lucifer in New York. How can people not think we're in Satan's short season? Like, come on. You think our Heavenly Father would allow a 300-foot statue in the middle of like a city if it wasn't during his little reign? I mean, come on. That makes so much sense. But yes, and as I was saying, it's the 250th year. Of course, Lucifer is going to want to be president during the last president that there's going to be. I think he's the last president for sure. And I don't know what's coming. I don't know if he's going to become king of the world. I don't know if they're going to have, aliens take over and it's going to be the fallen angels are going to be ruling and open. I don't know. Clint Eastwood as David Bowie. I don't see that, my friend. I appreciate the super chat. Clint Eastwood, David. No, I've seen David Bowie. Oh, David Bowie did. When David Bowie died, there was some dude that did an interview that was like literally him. I don't think I shouldn't discount. I don't like to discount anything, so I'll look into that. David or Clint Eastwood is definitely Abraham Lincoln. That I'm sure of. It's funny you mentioned the Paul brothers. Someone, I don't know if it was in, I think it was in my Facebook Live yesterday, and it could be just a bot, but someone said they're dead sure that the Paul brothers were born and because they like grew up by them or something like that. And they're definitely something, but Paul brothers could just be, non-giant Nephilim. They could be hybrids, half angel, half human. I kind of think that's what Machine Gun Kelly is. He's done an interview talking about how he doesn't know who his dad is, how he doesn't age. I've done a video on Machine Gun Kelly, who I think was also why can't I think of his name? Um, what's Mick Jagger's? What's the other guy with Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones? Keith Richards. Uh, Machine Gun Kelly is Keith Richards, and Megan Fox was Keith Richards' wife. I've done a video on it. Now they could just be, although they keep the same wife. Maybe the being a son of a fallen angel is just a decoy. Um, Ingrid, would I allow you to interview me? I would need some more details. I used to do podcasts all the time. Once I realized how Masonic the podcasting world was, I stopped doing that. So I would I would need more details. Fittest Flat Earther at yahoo.com. You can email me if you want. Please don't everyone email me because I get so many DMs and emails. It's hard to respond to. But Ingrid, feel free. Give me some more deets. Anyone see it? Oh, Little Nicky used to be one of my favorite movies. My wife actually, once in a while, she'll be like, "Why do you sound like Little Nicky?" When he's like, "Cassius, get into Flask." I like sometimes that's not a good imitation, but sometimes I will like sound like Little Nicky for some reason. She always makes fun of me with it. But why do you ask about Little Nicky? Yeah, Keanu Reeves literally plays a fallen angel in that new movie. They're just telling us. Like they don't even hide it. He's literally playing a maybe it's not a no, I think it is a fallen angel. And I think the whole point of the movie is he's trying to get back to heaven. So he has to do good deeds. All right, I need to read this one. Frederick, why do you care that I say butt chin? Do you want me to say, do you have a butt chin? Do you want me to say cleft chin? What do you want me to say? I literally someone was on my live last time I was live on YouTube, losing her mind that I wasn't me because I think I had freshly shaven and I hardly ever do that. And I got a little bit of a right there, like just a little bit. She was losing her mind. She's like, "That's not Tyler. That's not Tyler. Everybody, it's not Tyler." I'm like, I shaved. She was like, Tyler doesn't always ever have a butt chin." I was like, "It's the first time I've like shaven pretty clean in a long time." But what's the deal? Why do you? I've seen your comments before, and I think they're hilarious. Why do you hate the butt chin so much, Frederick? Truth hurts. I'm glad you made it. The funny thing is, I get a lot of people that say they love when I say the butt chin thing. I don't even do it intentionally. It just comes out of me. The Super Bowl logo colors, they used to definitely be a sign. I even went as far back as the 85 Bears and Patriots Super Bowl logo, and it was Bears and Patriots colors. But I think we caught on to that, so they're not going to do that anymore. There was something, though, they did put out I don't know if you guys have seen this, but for the Super Bowl early in the season, they put out a Super Bowl trophy picture with all the quarterbacks looking at the trophy. And the two closest quarterbacks to the trophy were Sam Darnold and Drake May. And someone also told me this, and I'm sure Sam Darnold has to be one. I don't remember. I think it was maybe a YouTuber said his last name, Sam Darnold. Darn old. Are they trying to tell us something? Like he's darn old, like he's a fallen angel? All right, I gotta look to see why Frederick doesn't like me talking about butt chins. I don't see it. Who is number five? Someone named Johnny? Johnny Five still alive? I'll have to think about that one. That was Short Circuit. That was a good movie back in the day. Johnny Five. You're definitely right. There's something to that. Johnny Five is still alive. Johnny Five. Johnny Carson? Maybe Johnny Carson? I don't know. I'll look into that. That'll be a fun research for me. Yeah, see? Butt chin is funny. This guy thinks it's funny. Always called it a coin slot. How can King David be Dave Matthews? Well, like I said, I'm not sure on that one. Who knows what else they have hidden from us? Dave Matthews seems like a pretty good dude to me. I mean, he sings about joyful, kind things. I don't see him doing a whole lot of symbolism. You know, who knows? I don't know. I didn't say I was sure on it. There's a lot of things that line up. Oh, and I found so there's a King David statue. I forgot to mention this. There's a King David statue that they say resembles King David. There's one that looks like Baron Trump, and that even when I said Baron Trump and looks like the Michelangelo statue of David, I was like, well, that could just be a statue that doesn't actually look like King David, but there is a statue that supposedly looks like him, and that is a huge mark right where Dave Matthews does in the exact same spot. I forgot that was another part of the reason because they show us, guys. I haven't posted about this yet, but on Trump and Lucifer and Elvis and Angus Young and Mick Jagger and Youngblood and Ozzy and Eminem. All of them have the exact same two marks, exact same. It's also on the original Statue of Liberty face. My subscriber Rose found that. They literally, for whatever reason, they put the markings from the face on the statues. It's crazy. So that was one of the reasons that once I saw Dave Matthews having all this, see, he has a band or an album with King in it. He dressed as a king very recently for an album. He also has the statue mark as King David. Go look up the King David statue that looks like King David, find the mark, and you'll find it on Dave Matthews too, in the exact spot. So, Sky, that, I mean, to answer you, I don't know for sure, you know? I don't think Jeff, I don't think anything is happening with the Mandela effect. That's just my opinion. I think it's all total nonsense. I think it's on the level of clones. I think it's on the level of celebrity deaths. I think it's something they push at us to muddy the waters. I just think it's them manipulating the internet. It's them using AI. It's them trying to mess with our conscience. Terrence Stamp is President Polk. Bum not today's video. Oh, yeah. There were a handful I left out. There were a few, not a handful. There was like, I could have done it all day, but I was trying to keep the video under 3 minutes because I wanted it to spread like wildfire on all platforms, and it's got to be under 3 minutes on Instagram. So I tried to just do the ones, and not a lot of people know Terrence Stamp, so I tried to do some very very well-known actors. Everyone knows. Well, I guess Peter Cushing. Not a lot of people know him, but I had to do that one because Peter Cushing looks so much like John Tyler. Sal, thank you for the kindness. Terrence Stamp, he was Zod in Superman. He also was in Yes Man, and I definitely agree with you. He is definitely already lost what president it was, but there's a handful others that I probably could have put in, but I was just trying to do some of the best ones. President Anthony says President John Tyler's wife looks like Carrie Ann Moss of The Matrix, or actress Sarah Paulson. Please say what you think. John Tyler's wife does, huh? Well, who is Carrie Ann Moss married to? Because maybe that will show us who John Tyler is now. Because Peter Cushing isn't around anymore. He was like 80s actor. So Carrie Ann Moss. John Tyler's wife looks like Carrie Ann Moss. All right, well, let's see who Carrie Ann Moss. Someone looked that up, so I can't obviously. Anthony, thank you, I appreciate it. Well, someone look that up. Whoever, see who Carrie Ann Moss is married to. Let's see. All right, guys, I've been on an hour and a half. I think I'm going to call it shortly, so I'll hang on for a few more, but why the long faces behind you? I always get that question. They're just, so I'm inside. That's my outside little patio. They're just like tiki faces from before I was awake. My wife is still not where I am with things. And they're, like this one was from our honeymoon in Hawaii. This one's from Punta Cana. This one might be from Aruba. They're just, we got them on vacation. There's no worship or no paganism or anything going on, just decorations. I'm not fearful of that stuff anyway. Tony Robbins, I do need to do a video. Someone literally just yesterday posted in my subscriber group in Facebook. And guys, I always like to mention, if you're going to subscribe, go do it on Facebook, because there's a community of people that are finding things that are awesome. and someone found that, and I haven't verified it yet, but that Lurch from the Addams Family is Tony Robbins. So look that one up if you want. I could see myself doing a video on that one because I think it's pretty interesting. A lot of people look to Tony Robbins. So, but check that out. Compare for your. I haven't had a chance to verify that yet. So, but it initial looks, it looked pretty good. Jeff, thanks for joining the membership, my friend. Oh, and E. Blaine, thank you. I appreciate the kindness there. Cool, William. Yeah, guys, please, no one, if you're subscribed on YouTube now, let it run out and then go to Facebook. I don't, by any means, definitely don't double pay. Don't double dip. Um, I don't mean that. I don't need people spending that kind of money to subscribe to me on the same thing, but definitely do it on Facebook over YouTube. YouTube, you're just getting my extra content. There's no group chat. There's no group hosting area. So go to Facebook. I promise you, you won't regret it. And then it's a place to feel less alone too. Like you just feel connected. It's like this live. You can see there's 747 people in here that all think a lot more like you than the rest of the world. And it's the same thing in the Facebook group. Seraphim, all angels are capable of shape shifting. Yeah, right. I just think the seraphim are the fiery ones. They're serpent angels. And that's why I think people think there are reptilians here. They're not reptilians, they're seraphim fallen angels that can shapeshift. So, guys, let me say this. I've talked about the flat Earth shills and things like that. Thank you, Paul. I'm going to talk about it right now. So, when I first woke up, one of the things I found that helped me so much was the Flat Earth Files. And George Hobbs, he doesn't do the Flat Earth Files anymore. It's a podcast. He doesn't do that anymore, but he does the Fact Hunter. And I'm pretty sure George is just like me, just like good, kind, caring person. Like I don't think he's a Mason. I don't think he's deceptive. And he would have people on, and they would talk about their flat Earth experience, coming to the truth, and things like that. But I learned a lot of things from a lot of different people. And one thing George always says that always resonates with me is he knows Alex Jones is a shill. He knows that. But there's a lot of truth coming from these shills. So you can't, what is it? You can't throw out the baby with the bathwater. You got to take and use discernment, because they'll tell you a lot of truth. Candace Owens will tell you a lot of truth, but she's a liar in general. So you got to just take things with a grain of salt. I think Eric DeBay is the same way. I do. I do think there's something not quite fully honest and just in it for the right reasons. Now, I don't know him personally. I haven't seen him do a lot of symbolism. I have seen him dress up in a dress and do some weird stuff like that. But Eric DeBay does great flat Earth proof. Great. But I just caution. Just use caution. Use prayer and fasting and discernment. That's what I do. E. Blaine says, how do fallen angels or humans play roles simultaneously? So for me personally, I think it's really, really easy. Like they show us what they want on the TV and we're just led to believe it. But like they could pre-record things, they could use AI, they could have doppelgangers, they could have people in, like I personally think and did many videos on how Jim Carrey was playing Biden in a prosthetic mask for 4 years or however many years. Now, part of me thinks maybe he just shapeshifted, but I don't think so because I think that was actually a mask. But the only reason it would be hard is because, like people see things on TV and believe them. Like, oh, this person has a family and they're with their family and these kids, but they're just presenting that to us. We don't know that to be true. So some of these roles could be totally just fake characters. Like they're only a real person on TV, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like just because they're presenting something on TV doesn't mean it's true. And we all know that, but I think it just goes a lot deeper than most people realize. Um, I don't know why. What is it? Gratuitous? Is that gratuitous? I can't see gratuitous. I don't know why, my friend. If you just ask it, I'll see you because you're in green. You're a member. Are fallen angels ever seen in person at the same time? You mean like two people that are supposedly the same, like Brad Pitt and Benicio del Toro or something? I mean, I think fallen angels hang out all the time. They do movies together. I'm not sure if I answered that question. I don't know what you mean. Are fallen angels ever seen in person at the same time? Yeah, they are. I just don't know if maybe you mean like who's someone that plays someone else. I'm trying to think. Well, yeah, like Brad Pitt and Benicio del Toro. I don't think Brad Pitt exclusively was Benicio del Toro, but yeah, they put him in the same spot at the same time to probably discredit what I do, and they just had someone else playing Benicio. Chosen, I don't know what you mean, like the movie Taken Lives with Ethan Hawke and Angelina Jolie. I just missed what that was in reference to. Maybe the different lives and playing different roles. Oh, I see what you're saying. Like when they play different roles, like Kobe and Miles Garrett. That that's one of the hardest ones for me to figure out is the Kobe and Miles. It is. Now there was tons of talk always how Kobe wouldn't sleep, would like literally not sleep. And I do think they have crazy abilities to travel, but I don't know how you could pull off like because I do think Miles was like a high school football player. Like I don't think they faked that. And I think maybe that was at the same time as Kobe still playing NBA. So I don't know. I do think a lot of these angels have twins. I do. I haven't posted on this, but I think that Michael Jordan and Kobe are angel brothers. Um, I do. Because there's like, they had a special relationship. I've seen interviews where Kobe calls him his big brother. I've seen things where Jordan calls him like his little brother. And then both of them in their prior roles were Wilt Chamberlain and Jackie Robinson, and there is some connection with Wilt and Jackie. I think that Michael and Kobe are angelic brothers. That's my opinion. I haven't done a video on it, but I really do. And I don't know, maybe that's how it's done. Like maybe if you shapeshift enough, you can. If you're brothers, you can shapeshift enough to look like each other. I don't know exactly how it's done. I just know that I'd put a lot of money that Kobe was Wilt and is Miles. The more truth I see, the more peace I have. Yeah, I agree. You know, um, it can get it can get difficult at times. For me, the difficult part wasn't learning the truth; it was trying to share it with people and getting rejected. That was only the ever hard part for me. That and I guess when I realized that like bad things were being done to kids, that was hard. But yeah, like the more truth I find now, the more peace I have, just knowing that we're in a spiritual realm and heaven is real and God is real, and it's really quite amazing. BB King is Miles Caden from the Sinners movie. I know BB King. I don't know Miles. Thank you for the super chat. Interesting. I'll, from the Sinners movie. I don't know if I know the Sinners movie either. I'll screenshot though and check that out, Anthony. Thank you. All right. DH. I also believe that I don't know that name. Mesoid is a fallen angel too. He looks like Ferrari. Sorry, guys, my eyes are starting to go on me. And when he died, I don't know who that is. Who's. My eyes are really going. I don't know who that is. I don't. Oh, is it Messier? Oh, probably Messier. Yeah, I would agree. Messier is definitely a fallen angel, 1,000%. I think I looked into him not too long ago. Um, if you are hugely, wildly good in sports, you are most likely a fallen angel because you're competing against fallen angels. So you're probably not going to be that good as a human against fallen angels unless you are a fallen angel. Which, speaking of, I haven't even mentioned this, and I wanted to. Um, Someone in my YouTube comments today in my president's video said, "Hey, what does wood do when it burns? It turns to ash." And then mentioned Arthur Ashe, who was a very world renowned good black tennis player. And do you see where I'm going with this? Arthur Ashe, Tiger Woods, 1,000% Tiger Woods was Arthur Ashe. I've got all the smoking guns. I've got all the symmetry. I did it all today just be from one YouTube commenter. I think Timmy was his name. So Timmy, if you're watching, awesome work, my friend. So I might do it tomorrow. Be on the lookout for me trashing that fallen angel Tiger Woods because I can't stand that guy. Is there anyone a president that you haven't mentioned yet? Yeah, there's a handful that we haven't found yet. There's a handful I'm not 100% sure on too, because I mean, like, think of how old some of these pictures are. Um, Somehow they still have marks. Well, because they've had camera picture technology all along. Let's see. What else, guys? I got time for just one or two more, maybe. President Elvis, hey, that's, yeah. Elvis, that's a good one. I never thought of that. Good job, Count. Elvis Presidently. That's great. That's awesome. I was actually trying to look up just like the meaning of president today to see if there's any like biblical meaning of the language with that and the wording, but I didn't see anything very good. But that's awesome. I love that. I'm gonna share that. For humans that sign devil contracts and sell their souls, would fallen angels give them some type of abilities besides Eblaine, awesome. Thank you for the question again. I appreciate you. So, guys, I personally have come to think that that is not going on. Um, I don't think there's any soul selling going on. I think that's a psyop to really hide the fallen angels and their agenda and their kids and their offspring. Now, there are Freemasons, and I do think there's some crazy things that happen at the highest levels of Freemasonry. I do think you take blood oaths. So I don't know if that's considered selling your soul, but you do take a blood oath as a Freemason, where if you spill the beans on things, they literally, you're taking a blood oath that says, if you talk, we'll cut your throat and pull out your tongue. But I don't think there's any selling of souls going on. I think that's like Hollywood fake conspiracy stuff, personal opinion. President equals precedent. Yeah, but I was looking for something more biblical, like, like for the Masons, Ma, Freemasons, Ma literally means light bearer, so it's like the sons of the light bearer. I was trying to look for some sort of like double meaning like that. Hey, everything, Marnie. I've missed you on the past few. Good to see you on here, my friend. I'm glad you caught it. Thank you so much. You're always just so kind and generous. Yeah, right. Exactly. You can't sell your soul. It doesn't belong to us. I think that is, and guys, I think I'll be honest, I think all the like hand symbolism, I think it's like, I don't know. I think it's just mockery. It's just like, look at us. They're like, it's so childish, it's like so childish. There has to be more to it than we realize. Like, I think it's probably just them having to tell us, like they do. Wayne Gretzky, Alexander the Great. I looked into that a little. I didn't, it didn't resonate with me, especially because I do think Barron Trump is Alexander the Great. But yeah, I think the whole selling your soul things isn't real. Just like clones aren't real, just like the Mandela effect isn't real. All again, my opinion. I don't think clones not being real is my opinion. I think that's just fact. I think they just want us to think clones. And I say this every live because I just want to reemphasize it. They want us to believe in clones. So they made a whole bunch of clone movies like Jurassic Park, They Clone Tyrone, The Clone World, or The Clone Wars, Multiplicity, a million other clone movies. So we get clones stuck in our head. So when we see Robin Williams looking like Teddy Roosevelt, we say clone. Or we see Kanye looking like a different Kanye, we're like he was cloned versus it just being someone else playing the role of Kanye. Clones are a psyop. Cloning pets are a psyop. Clonaid is a psyop. Let's see. Could we be related to the fallen angels and not know it? Grandparents or something? Well, I do think there's a whole lot of people with Rh negative blood. Yeah, I think so. I think Rh negative blood is Nephilim or angel blood. I do think so. Yeah, I do. I've always known what? You always knew and just didn't know how you knew? What are you talking about? Flat Earth, maybe? Fallen angels? Yeah. Sarah, that's why I don't watch anyone anymore. And honestly, just as a creator myself, I just don't want them to influence my thoughts. Stick with me, my friend. I swear on my dog's lives and my life and my soul that I am everything I say I am. I'm just good, kind hearted, retired high school PE teacher trying to help people. And I know you're not supposed to swear on things, but I don't know what else to do to just let people know that I am just literally a dude who cares and has love in my heart and maybe above all hates liars. And also a guy that didn't believe in God for 42 years and figured out we lived on a flat stationary firmament enclosed earth and I couldn't deny God's existence anymore. And I need other people to know that because it made me a fearless warrior for the Most High. And people deserve to be fearless in their life. And I'm just someone that cares and wants to help people. And that's why I was a teacher for 20 years, because I just wanted to help kids. I wanted to help kids find their fearlessness by becoming strong physically so they could become strong mentally, and then you can just be fearless in life. Unfortunately, I wasn't because I was strong mentally and physically, but I didn't believe in any sort of spirituality here. I didn't believe in a heavenly father. I just thought I was going to die and rot in the ground, and that was scary. Who wants to spend eternity in the ground? So yeah, just stick with me, my friend. I swear on everything I will not. Now I'm wrong sometimes, but I will never mislead. I will never deceive. I will never intentionally steer people the wrong way. Never, never ever. And I post every day, so you don't need to be chomping at the bit. When's Tyler gonna post some more truth? If are there really people in here asking me if I'm this person after I've literally just spilled my heart out, like telling you how honest and like I swear on my dog's lives. I'm a dog dad. That's all I got is my dogs. All right, you gone. If you're gonna keep asking me if I'm someone, you don't get to chat in my chat anymore. Hated school. I hated school until high school. I had a decent high school decent time in high school. You wouldn't have hated my PE class. My students all loved me. And I don't mean that arrogantly. They loved me because I was just kind and respectful to them. I didn't treat them like I was above them or better than them. um, let's see. What do you got, Doc? Some say Jesus had Rh negative blood. Some Rh negative about the angels, but not evil about the line. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. I'm not fully researched up on it, but it makes sense to me that it makes sense. Whatever they claim that wherever RH came from, it's no longer here. Like, like it could be aliens. So I don't know. That's a fair point. I'm not studied up enough on it. Like I said, I can be wrong on things. Um, I'm not fully studied up on the RH, but it could easily be the line of the Messiah, or because like people don't talk about that a lot, but I do think Jesus had offspring. I do. So it's some interesting thoughts. Thank you for the thank you for the super chat, my friend. What do I think the fallen look like when they are not in human costume? I think they literally look um, like reptilian people, like scaly skin. Um, like I think the things you see, like there's a what's the Marvel show? There's a Marvel show. I never watched it, but Rhodey, the guy played. Um, I just am forgetting all the names right now. Anyway, there's a scene where he's shapeshifted. What's the guy's name? Whoever Rhodey is. He was Sammy Davis Jr. and became Don Cheadle. Jeez, I had to go to Sammy Davis. I had to do my facial. I literally had to do facial recognition to get to the name. Don Cheadle looks in the mirror and it's foggy, and he's Don Cheadle and he wipes it away and it's like a green reptilian face. That's what I think they look like. I do. Truly do. I think they can just blend in and shapeshift to look like us. Let's see. All right. I keep saying it and I stayed like another 20 minutes. So I'm going to take one last question, guys. Excuse me. All right. I got my one last question. Why the fallen angels go to school, can be verified and attend school? Do they shapeshift constantly in different roles simultaneously? Blaine, thank you. Got my last question. So, yeah, I think so. To them, time is so different to us. If they're here hundreds, thousands of years, they play the long game on things because they can. They're not like we're going to live 80 years if we're lucky. Like, that's a really short blink of an eye. But if you're here thousands of years, man, like you got all the time to do whatever you want. And if you want to blend in, if you want to blend in, you got to look organic. What's more organic than like going through high school again? That's why I did the Vince Vaughn video, because I knew he went to my high school. I know he was young. I know that. So if I could have found who he was before he was Vince Vaughn, then it proved to me that they could shapeshift and get younger. And I did. With the help of my Facebook subscriber group, I found him. He was Sid Luft. And I was really hoping to run into him the other week when I was in the same town as him, but it didn't happen. Anyway, guys, I got my last question. You went to school with Robin Williams. I did not go to school with him because he's like, I don't know, 20, 30 years older than me. I'm 45. Robin Williams, the character of Robin Williams, I think would be like 75 right now. So no, he went to my middle school, Deer Path Middle School. But he didn't like grow up in my town, but he went to my middle school and then moved. But yes, we were both Deer Path Braves. I think he may have gone with my mom, maybe. Anyway, Oh, I was about to get out of here, but I got one last super chat. Um, could we be related to them? And oh, I think I already answered this. Maybe not. BD, did I answer this? Could we be related to them and not know it? Could one of them be your grandparent or something? Oh, well, that's a good one to end on too. Um, maybe. I think we would probably know because we would probably have some different abilities. I really do. One of the things that kind of relates to that, but isn't, is that a lot of in saying these fallen angels went back to high school. I looked in a lot of these stars, celebrities, fallen angels were adopted. So I think it's really hard to make it organic. So it's like maybe some of these fallen angels have parents that don't even know they're fallen angels because they were adopted into normal families. And people are like, well, I know I grew up with that person. Well, yeah, but you didn't know that the fallen angel was adopted into your family or a family. Anyway, guys, I'm going to try to just close it up here, take a rest, and always just like to leave on a positive note. And what's a positive note today? I always encourage people to be fearless and look the fact that all this stuff is so crazy and it's all such a spiritual attack and it's a spiritual war. And the fact that all this stuff that we're all sitting here talking about, all these crazy things, just proves that we're in a spiritual realm. And, you know, there's a lot of truth in the Bible, 1,000% truth. Or not thousand, so much truth. But if you, like, to me, if you were just good, kind, caring, loving person and you're trying to do what you think is best and you have no fear in doing it, then I don't think there's anything else to be fearful of. Like I don't think you need to worry about spending eternity in hell. I think they push that narrative to keep us in a fear state. I think if you're just a good, kind, caring person, you're going to ascend back up to the higher realms, and maybe you're not going to go up as high. Maybe you'll have to come back down to earth and try again. But I don't think anyone's spending eternity in hell. That's my personal opinion, and that's coming from someone who does like really believe the Bible. So just be fearless, be kind, be loving, always lead with love, and hope you guys have a great rest of your night. Thanks so much for joining, and be on the lookout. I'm fasting for the next couple days. So usually when I'm fasting, I like to go live. So maybe I will again tomorrow or the next day. Definitely do some fasting leading into the eclipse tomorrow. You'll notice an upgrade. You'll notice some positive feelings. You'll notice some higher vibration frequency if you fast going into the eclipse tomorrow. It's 7 o'clock now. Don't eat tomorrow. Just don't do it. You don't need food. You'll be fine. Now, if you're feeling weird, if you've never fasted and you're feeling terrible, fine. But try it. Try to fast. Don't eat tomorrow. See you on Wednesday. Eat Wednesday. Have an awesome night. Love you guys. Much appreciation for being here.